So you must make very appropriate use of these. With the carrying hand, if I'm afraid I can't get a grasp of his arm, you can push on your own forearm. This elbow sets against the opponent's elbow. If you slide off, then follow through with an elbow strike. Strike above, below, or go behind. These changes to some extent depend on your listening to the opponent. It's best that you don't try to resist against his force. Now, with the lion system, resisting against his force is also acceptable, but you want to do it accurately and at an advantageous angle, helping to add to the amount of attacking strength that you have. As you change quickly, carrying over, then coming back, this is also acceptable. Use the shoulder to set against the opponent's arm. You could elbow strike or hold the leg. No matter which technique, you must bait the opponent. If you don't elbow strike, it's difficult to hold the leg. If you elbow strike, he will concave in his chest and his leg will come up. Then you can move with him and be able to execute the technique. If you have good leg skill, you can coil his leg and lean against him. You can make use of all these different techniques and body movements. You must pay attention to the quick changes of the hands. Here, the hands must move at the same time. Making the opponent uncomfortable. From here, turn back in the other direction. So you must go according to the different situation to carry out different applications. Sometimes you can grasp attack the opponent. That way he'll come around to you. Grasp him that way. It's easy to get around him. Here I have a free hand. I've got him locked up. I can point press his solar plexus. Attack his Jiangmen point. This can be fatal. These techniques must be done to completion. We often say no matter which movement, you must do it to completion. Off by an inch and you're off by a mile. Your results will be lacking. Next, I'd like to introduce a way of opening the opponent using techniques in an interlock succession. If the opponent attacks, after I open, I could strike in the way we just introduced. I could also do a carrying strike. So here the use of force is different. Or I could go here and cause the opponent discomfort. Changing here and here. Also a carrying strike. These techniques would be used when the opponent tries to get away or to take his arm away. The technique must be very well knit. 1, 2, 3. Here you must pay attention to the following. When you sweep strike the opponent, your sweeping arm moves downward a bit. Note the angle on this arm as I slightly grind and squeeze into the opponent's elbow. Pay attention to the use of force. The upright arm could use a greater force, or the capturing hand could use a greater amount of strength. Adjust according to the situation with the opponent and your own preferences to carry out this crisscrossed application. Second application. When you're changing, you want to pay attention to slightly release your grasp as this arm begins to pull back. At the same time, this hand makes a fist. Your wrist drops and presses against the opponent's wrist as you strike the opponent. While you are striking, if the opponent uses an outward strength to resist, you move with his force as your hand opens and captures downward. This arm moves with and pushes forward and rotates.
试试，来，像